something for the road.
Last of the Longbottom leaf.
I know you've run out. You smoke too much, Pip.
But we'll see each other soon. Won't we?
I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
Mary.
Run, Shadowfax. Show us the meaning of haste.
Mary!
Welcome to Chapter 2. Show us the meaning of haste. This is Return of the King spoilers.
Yes.
Hey, sorry, I couldn't resist. It was a pretty obvious theme, I think, for the this chapter. I wanted to name it Welcome to the Liv Tyler episode of spoilers, because there's a decent little montage there of Liv Tyler clips.
My son.
Jordan also wrote the intro to chapter 1, and I didn't give him props last episode. So well done.
Well, Josh, I would also note that my section is 34 minutes and 57 seconds compared to your 33 minutes. So enough complaining from you.
Okay.
Timestamps.
So a lot of snapping back and forth in this section. So there's it might get a little heady in places. A lot of Gandalf story A, Frodo story B, but we'll get through it. First, Stevie, I think I'm going to come to you on the kind of the Gandalf Theoden strategy download here. Can you give us a little summary of kind of the moves that are being made in this first part of chapter 2?
Yeah, Theoden's being a little bitch. I mean, he literally has seen the destruction of like what was coming to him. Went to Helm's Deep, fell into a deep depression. Aragorn got him out of it. And he should just be like happy to be alive and being thankful to anybody. And Gandalf's like, hey dude, we should like unite with Gondor, figure this out, kill some orcs. And Theoden's all like, fuck Gondor.
Where were they?
Where were they when the Westfold fell? Why is he obsessed with the Westfold? And so...
He's projecting because he wasn't fucking there.
Yeah, I know. He was watching Fox News.
Stevie, you know what it is?
Dude.
What's up?
They fell.
Yeah, that's awesome. But yeah, Theoden, I mean, he drives me... Let me put it this way. In the beginning of this movie, he has yet to be the horse master that was promised. He's very Tom Petty.
Are people behind him? Do people support him? Like, I don't know. He still sucks.
It doesn't seem like a democracy in Eredos and the Kingdom of Rohan.
It's not. He's a king.
Yeah.
He's literally a king.
It's called a monarchy.
I had a huge note in my stuff that was like, why are the leaders like the worst people in Middle Earth?
Yes.
And then I was like, had to check myself because like we're just going off Trump to Biden. Like, you could definitely draw similarities between all those leaders.
All of the worst people in history have been the leaders.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty much. But first of all, let's not compare. I know Theoden's a little Tom Petty, but let's not compare Theoden to Denethor. I mean, I know that's kind of what you're shooting for right now, but
I'm not shooting for that at all. He's just being really petty.
It's not far off, though.
He's butthurt. I mean,
he did the same thing at Helm's Deep that he's doing now. He's had no character arc.
Also, this movie is called Return of the King. It's all about the actual king, the rightful king, and the good one, the one that's going to actually, like, you know, bring peace and harmony back to the land, kind of reclaiming his throne.
Do you guys realize it's a play on like eugenetics or whatever that word is? Like
Eugenics?
Eugenics.
Brett knows that word.
So, like, what if you were on a job about to retire? Even you've been there your whole life, the same corporate company, almost about to retire, got like 3 years left. You're leading this thing, and like all of a sudden, this dude called Strider comes out of the woods and everyone's like, yeah, he's actually the CEO. Like, that's a tough spot, man.
That's not eugenics.
That's not eugenics at all.
It's called nepotism.
Yeah, that's just nepotism.
I don't know.
Why does Aragorn have right to the throne? Because he has like the blood
it's the royal line.
Yeah, the blood, right? That's what I'm saying.
Why did Aragorn leave in the first place?
Well, he was gone. I mean, the line.
Oh, they just didn't find him?
This
He was just lost?
ranger.
Okay.
Pretty much. I mean, I don't think he'd been back there in a while, or
It's been several generations, right?
Yeah, the stewards have been watching over it. They're a different, they're a lesser line of people, and that's like actually maybe my favorite line of any of the scenes. Probably my favorite line in this little section is when Gandalf like chides him. He says something like, "The steward has no right." What does he say? Oh man,
He goes off on him.
he says something like the steward doesn't get a chance. I mean, oh god.
Dude, he throws that barb where he's like, and he uses his grief as a cloak.
I love
It's like, damn.
Yeah.
That whole thing is sweet. I gotta try to find the line. Go ahead. Sorry. It's where he's like, basically like, you're a steward. You don't have an opinion on who the king is. I mean, like, yeah, that's
Pretty, I mean, you would imagine that that's a pretty hard and fast rule. Like, once the king comes back, the steward better get the fuck out of there, or else he could just order a knight to stab you, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, yes. Word has reached my ears of this Aragorn, son of Arathorn, and I tell you now, I will not bow to this ranger from the north, last of a ragged house long bereft of lordship.
Authority is not given to you to deny the return of the king, steward.
Rule of Gondor is mine, and no others.
He's not even sitting in the throne. He's sitting in that little uncomfy chair
He's
down
sitting
at
in
the bottom of
steward's
the
Sidecar. I don't know. I agree with Stevie though. Theoden is so petty, but also his emotions are just weird. Because in Josh's chapter, just last episode, he seems to almost have like a soft spot for Grima.
Yeah.
A little bit. He tries to get him like, "Hey, climb down, buddy. Come back with us."
Come on, bud.
Well, is it
Get down. Come on.
like honest? Do you think, or is there some like weird motive to try to get information from him too, or what do you think?
I think like when he saw Grima, and this is back in the last part, but like he's like, "Look at how fucking pathetic you are up there, dude." He's like, "Come on, like you don't have to work for this shithead anymore. Like just come be a man."
Grima, you need not follow him. You were not always as you are now. You were once a man of Rohan.
Rohan is a kingdom again. We have jobs.
I do like that moment a lot, Jordan. And like the way Brad Dourif like emotes is just a thing of beauty, really.
Is there a reason that Legolas snipes him?
Yeah, that was
He's
weird.
stabbing him in the back. Yeah,
No, there is literally no reason for that. Like, why?
He's stabbing
Legolas
the
is a
second
cop.
most evil man in Middle Earth.
They
Give this guy
needed
a
the
break.
information. It's in the computer.
I think Grima has some of that information, and he just shot him in the heart.
He was just practicing. He's like, I still got it.
Yeah, Legolas may be like really good at fighting, but he's also a murder machine. Like any opportunity he gets, he will take.
He just wasn't even thinking. He just saw an act of violence off in the distance. I can take care of that. And just
with
like
more
trolls.
violence.
He trolls Gimli with it, like another one. Got him.
Is no one picking up this empathy for Denethor with like, he's been doing this job for so long, and someone just coming out of the woodwork? Like,
Empathy.
I think he's portrayed a little too crazy, but it's almost like some of this Jafar is a good guy. Like, he's actually
he tried to burn his son alive, Josh. So
not in this chapter. He didn't.
true.
No, he just sent him to his death.
He still has a little bit. He still has a little bit left.
Not in this chapter.
Not in this chapter.
Does Gandalf know he has a Palantir or whatever?
Probably not.
I don't.
It's a good
I
question.
don't know.
He sucks.
I mean, there are multiples, so he does suck.
The power structure in the political system where there could be a potential return of a king if it's like on the whim of some household bloodline, that's like bullcrap. Like, that doesn't make me happy.
Let's come back to the steward. Easy, boys. We're getting a little ahead of ourselves here.
I mean, look at the state and condition of Osgiliath, though. I mean, they obviously need new leadership.
Make Osgiliath great again.
Yes.
Fix the pothole. They're too damn high.
Before we even get to the steward, I think there's a big point here where Gandalf is so pissed at Pippin, but he has to go on a road trip with him. Brett, I want to come to you with two questions. One, I'm going to pin you as the Pippin character. And has anyone ever, like, let's say, given you a pack of cigs as they're saying you smoke too much? And also, have you ever had to take a road trip with someone you've just hated and had to, like, just grin and bear it?
Good questions.
Sorry, Brett. Really putting you on the spot here.
Hard-hitting news.
I don't think anyone's ever given me the SIG thing. I mean,
that question just, or sorry, the scene there just caught me off guard because that's an extended one that I had not seen before. And literally, Mary just gives him a pack of weed, the Hobbit weed, and is like, "You smoke too much, but here you go."
Brett was the guy that was always getting cigs bummed from.
yeah. Oh my God.
Okay, so who have you said it to? I guess is the better question.
I'd be like, oh, it's pretty inconvenient for me that you quit smoking all of a sudden. I mean, like literally, sorry, man. It's like in Half Baked with Snoop Dogg's like, oh, it's too bad. I just quit smoking yesterday. He's like the guy who comes and puffs, but he won't buy. Yeah, no, they're always just like, yeah, I'm trying to quit. And be like, oh, that sucks for you. But, or they'll go to a party, they're going to be up all night and they'll bring 12 cigs. And of course, me, I'm always bringing the heat. I got 3 packs ready to go.
Locked and loaded.
Because I don't want to run out.
Dude.
Is that what you used to have in your holster? Like a pack of smokes?
You quit smoking or you quit buying cigs, I guess is the question.
Who, me? No, I don't. I haven't had a...
No, the others. Yeah.
No, I haven't had anything in 14 and a half months.
Attaboy.
Damn.
The way I remember it, Brett, was back in the day, people would be trying to quit or quote I don't smoke cigarettes, but as soon as like a couple of drinks were had, just coming out of the woodwork like Aragorn asking for kingship cigs.
Yeah, no,
Kingship?
for sure. And let's see, I don't think so, Jordan, about the road trip.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Not any long trip. I don't think I would go.
No trips back from Bloomington or anything where it's just like, this fucking guy.
No, because it was pretty much just, no.
Josh? Is that what you were going to say?
No,
No,
Brett,
no.
did you ever ride with someone where you said, I'll never ride with them again? I know you have.
Do you know who it is?
Yes.
Oh, you can search far and wide. You can drink the whole town dry. But you never find the beer so brown. But you never find the beer so brown. It's the one we drinking now so brown. It's the one we drinking all down.
But anyways, Gandalf is road tripping with Pippin. And he gives us what I consider a famous line, the show us the meaning of haste. I love that line and that whole scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one. Corey, anything there?
I mean, not a lot there. It's just, I guess in terms of movie, I don't really understand why Pippin has to go with Gandalf. Like, I know why Gandalf needs to be a presence at Minas Tirith because of what's going to happen. Like, he needs to be there. But Pippin, I don't know necessarily why, and I don't remember the reason in the book. So it almost seems like he doesn't need to go, but...
Protect him?
Doesn't Mary say that the Sauron thinks he has the ring? Yeah.
But it's like Sauron's moving against Minas Tirith. He's not moving against Rohan,
right. Again, I think in the book, Sauron thinks Aragorn has it, so I don't know what the reason is in the book either, so...
Fair.
I do love that shot, though, of Pippin just falling asleep while he's on this Shadowfax horse flying with haste.
Dude, how could you possibly fall asleep on a horse?
Jordan, my one problem with that line, show the meaning of haste, is he's being so cold to these two, like, basically brothers, hobbits, that are saying goodbye for possibly the last time. And he's just like, fuck your goodbye. Make haste. Like, he just kicks out.
It's war.
They gotta fucking go.
Yeah, they gotta go, man.
They gotta get out of there.
I mean, frankly, he's tired of Pippin's bullshit.
That's true. Fool of a took.
Yeah, he should have never touched that orb.
Yeah.
I mean, and he knocked that fucking skeleton chain in the well.
Right.
This guy is just fucking up.
Gandalf should have destroyed Pippin immediately as soon as this adventure started. Like he did with Saruman's staff.
Yeah, he's like, Pippin, your throat is broken.
Yeah. Oh my god.
So watching a lot of behind the scenes in Denethor's Hall, was actually a set built inside of a giant building.
A warehouse. Yeah.
It's really cool. And the way they lit it was really cool too. Instead of just having lights come down, what they did was they drilled holes in the outer building and then lit those like through the building they built. It's really neat.
To like get like the rays of sunlight and
to
stuff?
make it look like rays of sunlight.
Oh, that's awesome.
And this was like the biggest warehouse they could find in the Queensland area. And apparently it was like right next to a train track. So while all these guys are acting, there's just like the sound of trains driving by, but they wanted to get that like, daylight in there. So they're doing it during the day, but just like trains blowing their horn. Train whistle, Jordan, you know all about that.
What is this? Elkhart, Indiana, having to time things between trains. Right, so we're in Minas Tirith now. We talked about him being a steward. I was really confused about that until I remember that it's kind of to set up the feud with Aragorn, I suppose. I really like the part where Gandalf is like, just don't talk at all. Don't tell him about anything. And then he suddenly knows. Pippin kind of comes in with the he kind of kneels and like gives a "I pledge myself to your teachings" kind of line.
It's so weird in the movie, right?
It's so weird.
So like when Pippin comes in and, you know, he's with Gandalf and they approach Denethor and Denethor's like caressing Boromir's like special horn and he's like grieving. It's similar in the book, right? They do approach him like that. He's grieving. He's like, what the fuck happened to Boromir? And like Pippin and Denethor kind of have like a heart to heart in the book. And it seems much more natural in the book that Pippin's like, you know what? For everything your son did for us, I'm going to do what I can for you. I'm going to pledge myself to you just to try to pay back for what Boromir did because he saved all our lives. But it's just like so abrupt in this book. And I think it's meant to make Pippin look like a dumbass even more.
But I think Gandalf also rolled like a critical failure perception check when he walked in here. Should he have not seen Boromir's horn twine in two or whatever the hell they say?
I love it so much when he's like, what happened to Boromir? And Pippin's just like, he got smoked, bro. He's like, not just one arrow. I'm talking 4 arrows deep.
Perhaps you come to tell me why my son is dead.
Boromir died to save us, my kinsman and me. He fell defending us from many foes.
Pippin!
I offer you my service, such as it is, in payment of this debt.
And that's dialogue like straight from the book, but without the surrounding dialogue, it doesn't quite work.
And like Denethor has the total right to just strike down Pippin at that moment, just because like I'll repay you the same debt Boromir paid with his life. It's like, okay, well, I'll just fucking murder you right here at the throne.
Jesus.
Yeah, Gandalf's not gonna let that happen.
Gandalf wants that.
If anyone's gonna kill Pippin, it's gonna be Gandalf.
How is the Horn of Gondor in just 2 pieces, perfectly split along the middle? Like it had to have been shattered by orcs running over it.
No, it broke in shipping via FedEx. That's how it got there so quickly.
Should have ordered it.
No packing peanuts.
Dude, it's magic. I don't know. They
magic.
literally heard the horn from Gondor.
True.
So is Denethor just doing that all the time? Or did he do that to use his grief as a cloak?
What, stroking the horn?
Yeah, just sitting there all day, just stroking his favorite son's horn.
Hey now.
I honestly think he might. Like he loves Boromir a lot, but he's also like weirdly codependent with Boromir, you know? It's like beyond like a father-son love. Like he's like too obsessed with Boromir to the point where he hates anyone that's not Boromir.
I love the fucking sidecar chair. It's so funny.
That's where Boromir rides bitch. Like,
did they show that first statue like on their way out or way in? It looks exactly like Denethor with his mouth open. I don't know if that's special effects, but it looks really cool. I doubt someone chiseled. a granite statue for that one shot, but
Wouldn't be shocked.
Oh man. So we do cut quickly here to a Frodo and Sam scene. Pretty depressing. Stevie, I guess I'll come to you on this one. No, I don't think there's much to come to, but we do cut quickly to that. And Frodo he says he doesn't think we'll be coming back. He'll be coming back.
He's been trying to say this to Sam for like 3 months. Like, dude, quit talking about the trip home. Like, even at the beginning of this movie, when he's like, for the trip back, Frodo was like, what are you talking about?
No, he knows, and Sam just wants to get the title for his book, There and Back Again, or whoever's book it is.
Really, Sam just wants to carry that ring for 10 minutes enough to go to the Undying Lands at some point?
Peter Jackson said the scene was supposed to mirror the I've never been this far from home scene, where this time it's Frodo stopping and Sam coming back to take him along. That's kind of cool.
Like poetry?
It rhymes.
It rhymes.
Wow. So does Frodo think he's gonna die on the trip, or everybody is gonna die, and Sam isn't making it back home? He's like, dude,
this is a really good point. I think, like, what's the theology of what he's saying here, and what everyone's saying? There's conversations between like Gandalf and Aragorn that's like, is Frodo alive or dead? Like, we know we're sending him off on a death mission, is what Saruman yells at Gandalf. So like, what's the deal here? Do people think that just like the act of destroying the ring will cause an explosion that'll kill everyone around or something?
Yeah, what's the symbology there?
Thanks.
That can't be the conclusion of their plan.
They just think it's such a hopeless plan that he won't succeed. Like, why is everyone so convinced he will die no matter what? And then he doesn't die. So it's like, what are they talking about?
I don't think they had any hope. Gandalf says it pretty much. It was
it's pretty grim.
Bad plan. I mean, the plan was for that fellowship, which failed almost immediately. So,
but Elrond says the ring bearer is beginning to understand that the quest will cost his life. But why? What is this understanding? I guess it's grim hope.
He'll get in, but he won't be able to come out probably.
But he's never the same, though.
Yeah, is it that he can't go back to his? Is it that he can't go back to his life in the Shire?
Yeah.
Like,
and he doesn't. He's never happy again.
And he hurts every day.
So it's a figurative, like, his soul is broken.
He does, because that stab, that wound festers his entire life.
it's like when people say they don't come back from war, you know? Like, he's not going to come back from this.
Oh, you took it like metaphorically? I always took it like the odds are so small that he actually gets there in the first place. And
that's kind of
the odds are so
I think that's what you're supposed to be
smaller that he actually makes it out of there once he gets in it, if that happens.
I think Pappy's right, though. I think we talked a little bit about the Great War influence on Tolkien's work earlier on in some episodes, but I think there's a little bit of that, like, writing about the traumas of, like, someone who was in trench warfare for a long time or shell-shocked coming back home. Like, that's kind of what Frodo is, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if the movie Tolkien is to be believed, at least one of his friends, like, who survived the war was basically fucked up forever. Like, he was never a normal functioning person again, like, to the degree that Tolkien was. I'm not just talking like your regular PSD, but like your double dose extra kind of PSD.
Was that movie any good? It looked so boring.
It was all right.
You have to read the Silmarillion.
It wasn't the greatest. It wasn't Lord of the Rings, you know.
Yeah.
It was more The Hobbit.
I also heard they didn't focus on like some of the cooler aspects of his life.
Yeah, they were very focused on the love story, but the more interesting stuff was his relationship with his friends. And his friends were all like him, like they were all like artists who like wanted to change the world in their own way, and they were going to.
C.S. Lewis.
That's pretty cool.
And then the war happened.
Oh, damn.
What were they called? Like, they met at a bar all the time. What were they called? Like the Matchstick Men or something weird like that?
Isn't that a movie?
It's a Nick Cage movie.
It is.
Nick Cage plays Tolkien in it, right?
No, that's not the right thing.
His greatest role yet. Yeah.
The Inklings.
The Inkling? Is that an actual name? No.
Yep.
Oof.
J.R.R. Tolkien, C.S. Lewis, and other artists, like Corey said.
That's pretty cool.
So after the depressing Frodo scene, Gandalf is smoking his pipe again, and he's talking to Pippin about service and how it's so quiet, and how quiet is the deep breath before the plunge. And we hear a little bit about the Witch King here. How do you feel about the Witch King, Mikey?
The Witch King. Okay, he's pretty much the coolest character design of all time. He's fucking
So awesome.
badass. Yeah,
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And
I love the name. I love the name of it. We talked a little bit about him on one of the other ones, like the design of the ring wraiths and him, but like focusing in on him, Mikey is so right. It's so freaking
so scary.
Just it's maybe the coolest thing Peter Jackson ever did is his design of that. It's so insane.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty much featureless. He's just a cloak with a crown and a sword and gauntlets. So it's very minimal and very scary. And then, like, further ahead in the movie, it's also like my favorite death ever when he gets killed. So I just
he folds in himself.
It's so cool. So I love the Witch King.
Is this the same character that no living cisgender male can kill? He/him.
Yes.
Okay.
That's exactly what Tolkien said.
What I didn't understand though, this literally the same person who stabbed Frodo at
Yes.
Almon Hen or whatever. How come we didn't have the crown back then? Is the crown new for this battle?
Upgrades.
I guess so. We see him getting the crown.
He got a promotion.
It's a pretty sweet crown.
I feel like he's just kind of hungover earlier. Didn't have time for the crown.
It fell off.
He's like, running out the door. Oh, where's my crown? Oh shit, where's my crown? How are they gonna know I'm the Witch King?
Is he the same one that sniffed the air and made all the worms come out and couldn't spot the hobbits over a single tree root?
Spider, I don't remember.
I like to think that he was fucking with them at that point. Like, he knew.
He knew.
What are those winged creatures called, Brett?
I don't know if they. I honestly don't know if they have names.
Is that part of like Saruman's power gathering? Like they're riding horses earlier on because they can't they don't have the XP to upgrade to these flying lizards yet, sort of thing.
Wait, it's been centuries and they are still riding horses, but in the course of 2 movies, they suddenly upgraded dragons?
It goes deeper than that. It's Sauron's mission for them was to be more stealthy, to try to look for the ring. And then when he found out that Saruman was 2-timing him, he just said, "Get to the Shire right now." So
actually, if you look at Tolkien letter 253, it says that the Nazgul went out and slayed a bunch of buffalo in the wild for XP and spent it all on these creatures for this moment.
Harvest some pelts.
Farmed a bunch of pelts.
Buffalo never hurt nobody.
I do love that shot though, Jordan, of them just looking at Moria from the balcony.
Yeah.
There. And apparently Mordor, sorry, from the balcony there. And apparently Pippin, the actor, is just on his knees when he's up against the balcony, and that's all an actual shot. But Peter Jackson was talking in commentary. He's like, yeah, I was pretty tired at this point, and we were kind of done with the practical effects. I was like, just try getting on your knees. Perfect. Let's shoot that.
Well, at the end, they have a shot of Gandalf patting him on the shoulder from way up on high, and I was wondering, is Gandalf on a box, or is he kneeling down behind the palisades or whatever?
Dude, there's something to this, because I think in Fellowship, all of this stuff is pristine. And I think you can see some of the strings here in Return of the King, especially extended edition. You know what I mean?
He was tired. He just made 2 movies.
So sleepy.
Pippin, I noticed when Pippin hands off the orb in the first part, Gandalf's entire arm is covered up by the robe, so you can't see that their hands are basically the same size.
Yeah, dude. I know.
He grabs it in such an awkward way. It's where's your fucking hand at, dude? It's I'm putting this orb right up your sleeve.
There's one part where they have Pippin on a lower platform, but they're hiding him behind a fence, straight out of Home Improvement. Wilson hiding his face, they're just resorting to some cheaper tricks. It seems at this point.
Pippin just waiting to give advice.
All right, Aragorn, you're gonna stand on this box here.
Put on some thicker shoes or something. I don't know. We gotta go.
So, Stevie, I feel like you and I had a good chat last movie about this, but we go back to Frodo, and this is kind of happening simultaneously with Gandalf's little stone chat with Pippin. But they, Gollum and Sam are trying to take him up this very steep staircase. And he's like, nah, I'm just going to go into this Nazgul palace.
He's going to the club, bro. He's going to the club.
He just wants to go. And last time they had to cover up and pretend to be a rock. But how do you feel about his desire to take the easy road here?
It just reminds me of that friend when you get people going on a night out that got like way too drunk. It's like, hey, we're going home. They try to go into another bar and you have like friends running after them. But yeah,
yep.
They're at Minas Morgul at this point, which is like one of the coolest sets I think built in this entire movie.
This is one of my favorite scenes in the whole
trilogy.
trilogy.
They showed it more, but yeah, maybe they show it a perfect amount. It's the green and everything is awesome.
Yeah, the miniatures they built in this movie are absolutely fantastic. Like the green they show is actual paint painted on by the set, like by the crew members.
Oh, nice.
And they just put a room pretty much entirely black, and that green glue from the paint,
Seriously, that's real?
Yeah.
I'm looking at it right now. It's incredible.
Yeah, so they built the Minas Morgul scale in 3 different sizes. They built it in 14th scale, 20th scale, and 40th scale. And they did it a ton. I mean, for the 3 movies, I believe they did 1,000 shooting days for miniatures. And they spent a lot of time on Minas Morgul. And they actually built the bridge. They built the stair. They built 3 different sections of the stairs going to, Tirith Ungol, those stairs. They did a ton of practical work here. And this is like one of my favorite parts of the entire movie.
Okay, Stevie, the set looks cool, but is this not a meaningless plot point? This is just basically a garage for the Nazgul and this army. Like, we have no context for what's inside of that.
I think it does a good story thing here, though, where it's like the Gandalf can see the green, you know what I mean? And everyone in Minas Tirith is reacting to it while Frodo's right there. It's like cathartic to finally see something that connects Frodo to other people at the Fellowship.
Yeah.
I agree.
I was a little bit confused, and Pappy, I'll come back to you here, but I'm a little confused on like the causation of like the green lightning bolt.
Frodo got too close to the club.
Is that what it is, or has Sauron like decided to send his dudes out, and it just happens to like kind of coincide with the staircase crawl? You know how like when you're in a basketball game and they turn off the lights and the spotlights come on to introduce the players? That's kind of what's happening here. All we're missing is Michael Buffer.
North Carolina, number 23.
Coming in at 10'6", the Witch King.
I think it's an aesthetic thing. I think it just looks cool. Don't question it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't question it. It looks amazing. So
fair enough. So they do continue up the staircase after they again just kind of barely hide behind some rocks, and we get another Sam Smeagol run in. Frodo, like an idiot, thinks Sam's just being a bully again, just being mean, and then we do go back to a few other scenes. Sorry, I'm trying to wrap up quickly here because I know we're cutting in on trivia time. So Gandalf gives one of my favorite lines maybe of the entire series, but another opportunity for the people of the Shire to prove their great worth. And Pippin like just knows to climb this big cliff. Brett, do you have any book knowledge on how to get across the importance of these fire signals, or is it just the obvious thing?
I think it's just Corey can back me up maybe, but I think it's just the obvious thing. It's just a call to war.
How long has it been since they've been lit? Do you know? Does anyone know?
No, I don't think so. Probably since
no living man.
That hay was pretty dry.
I mean, you gotta imagine that stuff gets rotated out pretty frequently. You don't want to get wet because when it's time to go, you don't want to like deal with wet hay.
Stinky,
mold and stuff.
Brady was talking about how boring that job would be.
Just the hay guy? I bet it has great benefits. I bet it's a union job as well.
The mischief we get with this partnership Gandalf and Pippin is great. We got that comedic scene where he's like, don't tell Denethor this or this or that. And here we get that sly grin from Gandalf because he knows he's tasking him to create mischief, basically, right? And that's what Pippin is good at.
That's his thing, yeah.
Use your one goddamn brain cell and go light that fire.
Even just like him looking up at the tower, and then like when the guards walk by, he like like looks away and then like looks back up, like, oh, he's got it.
Oh, this is smarter people probably connect this right away, but this is totally a callback to when he lit all of Gandalf's fireworks at the very beginning of the Fellowship.
Oh, yeah.
Good call.
Of all the inquisitive hobbits Peregrine took, you are the worst. Hurry!
And then we cut to Faramir and his crew real quick.
That's it, right? That all you got, Joden?
I think I'm in like 105 range. I've got like 3 more minutes.
Ooh, that's the HBO Max.
Oh, no. I didn't mean, I just meant the last thing I see is the lighting of the beacon. So,
Are you talking about when the orcs are pulling up on?
Yeah. We
whatever
got
it's
some
called?
orcs and some dense fog.
Osgiliath.
But I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of that scene because like literally the boats are 10 feet away and you can't see them. I'm not sure about that.
The mist, bro.
The scouts didn't warn them.
Come on.
This is the first we get to see the Elephant Man orc or whatever he is. Yeah,
Harvey Weinstein.
Basically, yeah.
That's who it's supposed to be.
They do look alike.
No,
Wait, really?
That's who he modeled it after. Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
No fucking way.
Yeah,
I had
Harvey
heard
Weinstein.
that story. I didn't realize it was that particular one.
Did that make it into the commentary?
Harvey Weinstein was only going to give Peter Jackson 2 movies and $75 million.
That's dumb.
And apparently a lot of broken promises later. Peter Jackson made Gothmog?
Gothmog, yeah.
He turned him into Harvey Weinstein.
He made him look like the most deformed, ugly piece of shit possible.
He's so gross.
He did that on purpose.
AKA Harvey Weinstein. Exactly.
He does got the face craters. You're right. It does kind of match.
And that wasn't even punishing him for his greater sins. That was just like a lesser thing.
Jeez.
He just needed that cane that he had in the courthouse.
Oh my god. That's all we needed.
A signature cane.
Little walker with the tennis balls on it or whatever. Yeah.
So anyways, then we get a big shot right before the end of my part of the candles being lit all across the countryside.
Dude, that's the best. That shot is amazing though. And
It's
the score.
really cool.
And just the scale of it. And like Brett was saying, like that would be such a boring job to live on top of a mountain. Like I love this. The light the beacons thing is as cool as it gets.
Oh, yeah.
To me.
It's pretty cool, but we could also talk about Weinstein going from the age of 50 to 90 instantly when he gets indicted.
I need to change my Depends, please.
Yeah, Pap, I like what you said about the sense of scale. I don't know, looking at this again, it's like, wow, they really know how to like make it look like that mountain is 5 days away if you're walking to it. And it's like, you know that they have done that. This whole movie is about them walking across the entire continent. It's you just like kind of take in how hard it is.
Mm-hmm. And the one they light with the people who are on it, like the ones that you see them light, that whole shot is 100% practical.
Yep.
Like they took
so
a
cool.
helicopter, flew up the little hut, dropped it off, flew up the big pile of sticks, dropped it off, and then that shot is a real fire too. Like I think the only thing that's CGI is the little beacon in the distance, but it's so cool.
Pat, did you hear Peter Jackson talking about what a nightmare like shooting those mountains are?
I bet.
I think he said like his DP did it or something, or I don't know if they were just flying it around or
lots of gimbals, lots of gyro stabilizers, and pretty much trying not to get blown off the mountain.
What's a gimbal?
It's pretty
like
much
a steady cam.
yeah.
He's the dwarf in this movie.
It's Gimli's son.
So if you didn't have one, you would have like pretty much the helicopter shaking the camera nonstop. Like the gyro stabilizers and gimbals really help the camera stay kind of that even keel.
Is that like the square thing that you see them holding outside of like the camera?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of them look like just little sticks with cameras on them now that you see people holding.
Interesting. But yeah, I guess my chapter ends with Theoden declaring that Rohan will answer.
Finally.
And finally,
Mustard the Rohirrim. I love that line.
Rohirrim. He gets over his Tom Petty bullshit, and yeah, they light the candles. Let's go.
I feel like it would have been like a tonal shift, but I feel like Stevie would have liked the scene when they were lighting the beacons. They keep lighting. Then they get to one, and the little girl's like, "Daddy, they lit the beacons," and he's like, "Nah, I'm good." And like this goes back to what he was doing.
This goes back to milking a goat.
Drops the matches in the snow.
Dude, did you light that? I didn't light that. Who lit that fire, dude? You toss your cig on there?
Josh, we got trivia.
Yeah, for sure. We have trivia.
Oh, well, sorry, unless there's any final thoughts from the episode or the chapter.
Fun chapter. I feel like this one, things are actually happening. We're out of Two Towers land.
There's a lot going on.
Into Return of the King land.
I don't think Jordan likes the Arwen scenes very much. We didn't spend much time.
We didn't even talk about it.
That's what I was going to say.
I don't feel like they have a lot of impact on the current plot.
I want to speak to them.
Cool sword, though.
The thing about Lord of the Rings is that there's always these like moments peppered in of like, you see some elves, like you see Elrond pondering or talking to some other elves. In this case, he has like Arwen, and they're kind of like, you know, talking about things that should happen. But like, there's a beauty to the elf scenes, I think. Even if they don't add a lot to the story, this one I think maybe does more than others. But even like stuff when you get Galadriel, like her voiceovers to like some moments of just like kind of lapsing of time, like a lot of it's the score. Score is really beautiful, and there's a lot of like choir work when it comes to the elf stuff. I don't know. I just think it gives me that Lord of the Rings feeling when I see those scenes.
Corey, I agree. And so, to be fair, I'll go back to my bullet points from the elves just real quick. The first one is that we get a shot of the Flight of the Conchords guy. And then the second bullet point that I scratched out because we skipped very quickly to what's his name? Dinosaur.
Dinosaur.
Denver, the last dinosaur.
The second bullet point was big speech from Arwen, and I said Eowyn at first because
the names, right? There's always two characters that have the same name.
Yeah, big speech from Elf Girl.
And
they remake the sword. Sorry, I did skip that.
Yeah, making the sword's pretty important, actually.
What's the sword's name?
Well, it's called Narsil at first, but when it's remade, I think it's called Elendil?
Nice. That was his great-great-great-great-grandfather, Elendil, the king.
You just fucking know that off the top of your head?
I've been watching Lord of the Rings stuff all day, bro.
Josh, you did not know that.
Here's where this comes into play with modern pop culture, though. We know about the MCU multiverse. We know about Zuckerberg's metaverse. We have Into the Spider-Verse. But Elrond seems to have a little bit of a metaverse himself as he looks into the future.
It's called the Elrond Hubbardverse.
He's like, you may have a child. I've seen 1 million futures, and in 30 of them, you do have a boy.
Nothing is certain.
Can I ask Corey a question real quick?
Yeah, I wanted Corey to answer that one too, but yes.
Okay. My quick question for Corey, because I don't think we've ever really talked about this on the pod. Corey, can you explain why the elves are leaving Middle Earth?
No.
No?
I honestly don't know the answer, right? So I have read the books. It's been a while. I don't remember them focusing on that in the books nearly as much as they do in the movie. I don't even know if it's a thing in the books.
Yeah. Actually, they say multiple times throughout the books that the age of elves is over, and they're pretty much just they're pretty much just packing up their crap and bowing out.
It's pretty vague from what I remember.
Why is it over?
It's like the age of elves is over. It's like, okay, what does that mean? Who knows? Like what's happening?
I think it's getting a little bit too. I think it's getting a little bit too real for them. I think they have a very little faith that good things are going to happen, so they're literally all going to paradise where they can live immortally.
Why didn't they just stay there in the first place?
Why didn't they go there in the first place? Come on.
Well, you can't come back from there.
Sounds great.
Good.
Well, it's a different. I'll have more on like
they're drinking elf margaritas, listening to Motley Crue.
Well, yeah, Brett will tell us more about it when we get more into those areas, probably toward the very end, I think.
I think for as elegant and beautiful and as prideful as the elves are, I think this is one of their biggest flaws, man. They gave up. I honestly think there's a sense of like, yeah, we're sad and mopey, but ultimately we just franced out here. We gave up.
Franced out. I love that.
Franced out.
Yeah, there's like a selfishness to elf culture, right?
Yeah. France gave up / lost, so in 5 weeks, so.
Are the elves here to help man? Is that their purpose? Or
no, I mean, they came over long before. It's kind of, Josh is kind of right. They've had pretty much everything handed to them. They have a superior physiology. They're immortal. They're stronger, faster, better at pretty much everything. But like, yeah, they stick to themselves. I mean, now keep in mind, they fought a lot of wars in the back.
But man is a virus.
They weren't given a choice. Pretty much, what's their heaven called? Valar or whatever? They were being summoned by them, and if they didn't leave, they would be locked out of heaven forever.
Oh, well. Don't want that.
I do think there's too something about like the whole reason this is called like Middle Earth is like
Purgatory.
It's not the modern era. So like the elves had to like pass out of existence. You know what I mean? Like we went from Middle Earth to regular Earth.
Are you saying this is set on our Earth?
It's in the middle of the Earth.
The thing is, I think Middle Earth is flat.
Oh, you're one of those, huh?
I don't think our Earth is flat. I'm a flat Middle Earther.
Are you? No, it's not though.
There are real theories that there are like secret archives that very few people get access to, and of those few people, Tolkien was like the only one that could read these like super ancient texts. And there's literally people that believe that
sacred text.
people think there's like part of ancient civilization history wrapped up in these movies, like from him writing it from history. I just want to put that out there because I think that's a really fun theory.
He just stole a bunch of stories from that have been passed down.
There you go.
I need to know, is Middle Earth its own planet or is it a continent? I like the floating island, flat. That's a cool idea. Flat plane of existence. That's
just like the 1300s, bro.
They say we have.
It was flat, but the Valor made it round.
I might concede that it's concave.
Can I have one more super quick final thought, Jordan? The shot where Gandalf is riding up Minas Tirith, you know, and just going like row by row by row. That's so fucking cool. That's the coolest thing ever.
When they like pan up, that feels like a helicopter shot as well when they're like just pulling away from it.
The whole layout of that city seems ridiculously impractical. To have to walk down those layers, but it looks so cool. I love it.
I gotta go where to do my laundry? Oh my god.
First floor?
So many stairs.
Mikey, right here it says Middle Earth is the main continent of Earth in an imaginary period of the Earth's past. So it's just a continent, like a main.
Pangea.
So it is real.
Not what I wanted. I wanted a floating island in the middle of space.
Yeah.
Pappy, with Gandalf riding up like that, I think that's just like, he's really is the hero of our movie so far. Like, he's featured so heavily in Return of the King, and it feels so good.
Oh, yeah.
He's like Chris Pratt. He's so cool.
We didn't even talk about when he like started smoking weed, and he came back as Gandalf the White. So I guess he has like baby lungs. And he's just like coughing up a storm.
He sounds like a Pappy before we clean up the tracks.
He's taking big rips, man.
So I imagine this is just a ceremonial position. I mean, they don't actually expect me to do any fighting. Does he?
You're in the service of the steward now. You'll have to do as you're told, Peregrine Took.
He's hitting the dab right off the bat as Gandalf White.
So I meant for this episode to be a little faster to show us the meaning of haste, but it's
possible.
Running on 50 minutes, 5-0 right now. So
We're only going to be able to do one of these tonight.
Josh, take us away, my man.
The good news is we're talking about, or the good news is that it's a real fast trivia, but part of this section is we're talking about Middle Earth and this huge forest that comes out, and so many people are killed in Middle Earth because of all these battles. And it got me thinking about when have really bad things happened in human history.
Oh no.
So
Why would
you guys
think
may
about
be
that?
familiar with the name Genghis Khan.
Genghis Khan.
You may be
John
familiar with the
Wayne.
name John Wayne Genghis
Gyllenhaal.
Jingo Khan. Anyway, my question for you guys tonight is, when the Mongols were at their peak, historians guesstimate they killed this percentage of the entire world population. They were known for conquering hundreds of cities and villages. We are going to go in. We're going to actually go in like a thoughtful order this time. We're going to go, Stevie, you're the ring bearer, but you have to go first today. You have the most points. You're in the lead. You gotta set the bar here.
Don't worry, you'll get plenty of advantages from Josh's trivia. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Fuck all of you.
We're a fellowship. Whoa.
Dude, that was broken 2 movies ago. So percentage that Genghis Khan killed.
Genghis.
Is that
The
right?
Mongols wiped out. Like, I think it's just crazy to think about. Historians guesstimate it as a percentage of the total world
That's a
population
shit
at that
ton.
time.
So
it's not the number of people, but what is that percentage?
do I have to do it like on the whole, or can I do point?
Metric tons.
Are we doing whole numbers?
You can. I'll say the nearest tenth on this one.
Okay, cool.
Tenth?
Tenth.
I will say 9.4%.
1 million spies.
Nearly 10% of the world's population. Brett,
Oh, crap.
you are tied with Jordan in second place with 3.
Let's see, so I took over almost all of Asia and then got into Europe. I would go with 14.7.
Jordan.
I'm gonna go 19%.
Damn.
A solid chunk. Pappy.
Big.
What was he doing? Spreading the word of the Bible? Good God.
Percent of killed? That's the question?
Yes, it's insane.
Yeah, probably way too high.
You guys are insane. What the fuck are you talking about?
Guess your guess, Pappy. Josh, enough editorializing. Okay.
2%. 2%. 2%.
Pap's a big 2% milk guy.
Hey,
All day. I can handle my milk.
Mikey.
I may have gotten carried away.
That was mean, Pap. That was mean.
Sorry. You're the ring bearer. You said fuck you.
I'll say 5%.
Corey, you guessed that a giant squid's eye was 2 feet long. No one's upset about it, but you have a chance here.
Big eye.
You're just trying to shift the attention off your whole wolf thing. Okay.
Seriously, let the record show that Josh thought a wolf weighed 4 tons.
Yeah.
Story's growing. The legend's growing.
I think I guessed about 2 times what it actually is. Not that bad, really. I think I understand how to win trivia now. And it's to ride on the back of Stevie.
Yep.
10.5.
Damn.
Drum roll or something like
We don't need a soundboard. We got Pat.
receiving 5 points tonight for being the closest is Corey. Totally redeemed himself.
Oh my god. He figured it out. He hacked the game.
The percentage of the world population is based on, they think, somewhere between 37 and 60 million people in Eurasia were killed by the Mongols, which is 11% of the total world population at the time.
Wow.
Wow.
I think somebody owes us an apology.
Yeah, Josh.
Who's that?
What do you have to say for yourself?
Fucking you.
Pappy for saying we're all stupid.
Well, listen. We'll see who's holding the ring at the end of the day.
What does this trivia have to do with Lord of the Rings? I don't.
Also, I had a question exactly like this on the Mulan trivia. Like, almost word for word. I should have done way better.
What?
Yeah, go back and listen to it. It's the same question.
Then why didn't you get this
Why
right?
didn't you get it right?
Because I'm stupid, I guess. I don't know.
Pappy, you got actually last place.
Yeah.
Corey, you got first place today. If you've been listening, it's a pretty close battle right now. And at the beginning of chapter 3, we'll update you on the standings.
What are the standings?
So, Jordan, go ahead and take it the rest of the way.
What am I supposed to take?
hell?
This is spoilers. Happy Return of the King.
Shell.
Special thank you to our patrons: Nick, Brother Brian, Matt Troll, The Meg, David, Nurse Stacy, Druid King. If you'd like to request an episode, hear your name read by Spoiler Man, or even just help us make podcasts, please check us out on patreon.com/spoilerspodcast.
This is my first command to you. How did you escape and my son did not? So mighty a man as he was.
The mightiest man may be slain by one arrow, and Boromir was pierced by many.
Get up. My lord, there will be a time to grieve for Boromir, but it is not now. War is coming. The enemy is on your doorstep. As steward, you are charged with the defense of this city. Where are Gondor's armies? You still have friends. You are not alone in this fight.